Hi guys, welcome chapter 13.6, writing equations in slope-intercept form. So what we're doing today, shockingly, we are writing equations in slope-intercept form. The slope-intercept form, remember, is y equals mx plus b. And what will we need to write in slope-intercept form? We need the slope m, we need the intercept b, and we also need to know the equation, y equals mx plus b. So just kind of a little bit of a review. To find the slope and the y-intercept of a linear equation, y equals 3x plus 5. Remember, 3 is your slope and 5 is your y-intercept. For b, negative 3 over 4 is going to be your slope and your y-intercept is negative 10. Now for the next one, notice y minus 4.2 equals 5x. That is not slope-intercept form. That is not standard form. We do not have a form for that. So we need to get y by itself. Right now, y is being subtracted by 4.2. So we're going to do the opposite, and we're going to add 4.2. So if we add 4.2 to both sides, so plus 4.2 plus 4.2, our new equation is going to be y equals 5x plus 4.2. And remember, 5 is our slope and 4.2 is our y-intercept. Hopefully, this is a bit of a review. For d, we need to get rid of that 3x. We need y by itself, so we're going to subtract 3x to both sides. So therefore, I get y equals negative 3x plus 12. Remember, whatever you do to the left side, you must do the right side. So if we're subtracting 3x from the left, that cancels out, so we get y by itself. We subtract 3x from the right. Those are not like terms, so the answer is not 9x. We put negative 3x first to follow y equals mx plus b. This obviously gives us m being negative 3 and then b being 12. Hopefully that's a review. You guys did that in the last lesson or two. So now we're going to graph these linear equations, identifying the x and y intercepts. So y equals 3x plus 3. So that means we're going to start our b, our y intercept at 3, and then we're going to go up 3 and to the right 1, up 3 to the right 1. So this is your equation. That's your linear equation. That's your graph. Our x-intercept, notice it crosses the x-axis at negative 1. So x-intercept is negative 1. Notice the graph crosses the y-axis at 3, so y-intercept is 3. For this next one, y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1, we're going to start at 1. And we're going to go down 1 to the right 2, down 1 to the right 2. So this is your graph. And then notice it crosses the x-axis at 2. Okay, x-intercept is supposed to be 2. Pretend that's a 2. And then the y-intercept is 1. So let me go ahead and fix that. Notice, guys, that is wrong. So your x-intercept, let's see if I could erase that. Let me see. So your x-intercept, let's fix that. Your x-intercept is actually going to be 2. And then your y-intercept is going to be 1. Sorry for that mistake. Your x-intercept is 2 and your y-intercept is 1. All right, for C, y equals negative x plus 2. We're going to start off at 2 on the y-axis, and we're going to go down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1. Because remember, negative x, there's a negative 1 in front. So negative 1 over 1. So these numbers are going to go back for B. Don't worry about it. But if we do y equals negative x plus 2, then we get the x-intercept at 2, the y-intercept at 2. And then finally, y equals x. There is no y-intercept, right? We're at 0. So therefore, we just go up 1 to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1, starting at 0. And then our x-intercept and our y-intercept are both 0. So again, sorry for that confusion with B. Let me go ahead and fix it real quick again. That the x-intercept is actually 2 and the y-intercept is actually 1. So let me go ahead and fix that so that you guys can see again. All right. So I'm just going to erase this part, and then x-intercept is 2 and the y-intercept is 1. Sorry about that. All right. Next slide. What is the equation in slope-intercept form? So we have negative 1 comma 3, and we have 4 comma 0. So first thing you want to do, you want to identify the slope and you want to identify the y-intercept. So first, when you're identifying the slope, remember, we have our 2 points, so the equation is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So since we have that, we're going to go ahead and do 4 minus 3, which is going to give you 1, and 0 minus negative 1. So let me go ahead and do that as soon as the iPad loads, and then we can find our slope. So here we go. Went ahead and loaded. So I'm going to do 4 minus 3 over, and then different color, I'm going to do 0 minus negative 1. 0 minus negative 1. And then our answer for that is going to be 1 over 0 minus negative 1 is positive 1. So our m equals 1. Notice our y-intercept is right here. That's at 4. So our b equals 4. So therefore our equation equals y equals x plus 4. There is a 1 right there, but remember it's invisible, so we don't actually need it. So we're just going to put y equals x plus 4. If we want to find the x-intercept, y equals x plus 4. To find the x-intercept, remember there is no height on the x-axis, so set 0 equal for y, so 0 equals x plus 4. So that means x has to equal negative 4. You could also look right here, x-intercept, because that's where it crosses the x-axis. All right, let's do another example. Here we have our 2 points. So therefore, we just need to use slope formula to find our slope. We can find our y-intercept, and then we can get our answer. All right, so 0 comma 1 and 4 comma negative 1. So just looking at the y values which go on top, we can do 1 minus a negative 1, and on the bottom we could do 0 minus 4. So let's go ahead and get this to load. So here we're going to do 1 minus a negative 1. So 1 minus a negative 1 on top. And then on bottom, we are going to do 0 minus 4. Remember to be consistent. 0 minus 4. So therefore, our slope equals 1 minus negative 1 is 2. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. That simplifies to negative 1/2. So m equals negative 1/2, which you could also go down to the right 4, minus 2 and 4 to get your answer, right? But our b is where it crosses the y-axis. So right there, 0, 1, so b equals 1. So your equation y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. To find our x-intercept, we do 0 equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. So we subtract 1, we get negative 1 equals negative 1/2 x. Multiply both sides by negative 2, and you get 2 equaling x. That is your x-intercept. You could also look right here. That is going to be your x-intercept. All right. Last example. I'm going to try to do this one a little bit quicker for you guys. Let's see if it can load. So first, if I want to find our slope, instead of doing slope formula, let me show you the other way you could kind of do it is just by looking at the graph, right? If you're looking at the graph, then we can go up 1 and to the right 3 to get to the 2 points, right? Up 1 is a plus 1, to the right 3 is going to be a positive 3, so our slope is 1 over 3. Let's get this to load. All right, here we go. So we go up 1 right here. Here, let's use a different color so it's a little bit more noticeable. We went up 1 and to the right 3. So if I go back to black, then we went plus 1, plus 3. So m equals plus 1 over plus 3. So m equals 1/3. Our b is going to be right here. That's our b, 0, negative 3. So we get negative 3. So therefore, y equals 1/3 x minus 3. Now, You cannot see the x-axis on this graph, right? So therefore, we know that the x-axis, the x-intercept, is when there's a height of 0. So that means we, instead of doing y equals 1/3 x minus 3, we actually need to get rid of that y because we know that there is no height, right? So we're going to put 0. So when I put 0, now we solve for x. So plus 3 plus 3, it's going to give me 3 equals 1/3 x. Now, the way to get rid of that 1/3 x, multiply by 3 over 1, multiply by 3 over 1. 3's cancel out, 1's cancel out. 3 times 3 is 9, so 9 equals x. So 9 is your x-intercept. All right, I think this might be the last example. We want to find out what the equation is. Drop my pencil. So here, what is the equation? Well, first, notice x is consistent. It goes from 1 to 2 to 3. So 1 to 2 to 3, that's plus 1, plus 1. Notice the y is consistent, plus 3, plus 3. So since they are both changing, remember, slope is change in y, m equals your change in y over your change in x. So the y changes plus 3, your x changes plus 1, so therefore your slope, m equals 3. Now we just need to find our b. So b is whenever, remember, b is the y-intercept on the y-axis, so there's a height, but there's no width, right? There's no length side to side, so x has to be 0. So notice, it goes 3, 2, 1, 0, so it follows the pattern, so this would be plus 1. So here, we need a plus 3, which means this tells me this is going to be 5, because 5 plus 3 is 8. So therefore, our b is 5. So we get y equals 3x plus 5. And let's do a little bit better equal sign. Y equals 3x plus 5. Now, what is the equation of a line if it passes through 3, 10 and 6, 16? Well, let's find that out. Remember, let's subtract the y's first. So m equals 16 minus 10 over 6 minus 3. So that means our slope is equal to 16 minus 10 is 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. So then 6 divided by 3 is 2. So here we know, this is going to go down here, m equals 2. But now we need to find our y-intercept, right? Well, notice, look at the x's. It goes from 3 to 6. So therefore, we can kind of create another point here and follow the pattern, right? Look, 0 to 3 to 6. That makes sense. It's plus 3, right? So let me take that back. And then we can go from blank to 10 to 16. Well, that's a difference of 6. So that means we can put a 4 here, right? Because 4 plus 6 is 10, plus 6 is 16. So let's undo those. So we're going to put 0, 4. So that means our y-intercept is 4. So y equals 2x plus 4. Hopefully that made sense. Next lesson, we'll figure out a lot easier way to do that. That's just kind of the intro to next lesson. We're going to find a formula where if we know the slope and a point on the line, we can automatically find the equation using a different formula. All right, so your homework's due Friday, chapter 13.6, 2 through 24 evens, only 12 questions. It's not too bad, guys. Remember, Friday at midnight. And if you want to do it out of the book, you can. Just remember to email me. All right, challengers, I will see you guys later. Thank you for tuning in and see you guys. Good luck on your homework.